Hello guys, this is Rutash, and I was asked by some of you to send you about my testimony in English. So that's why I'm trying this time again. I hope you will find it interesting. So guys, as I told you last time as well in Hindi, that this is about my journey to find my spiritual guru, which is obviously Babaji in Newcastle upon Tyne. He is known as Baba Ghai. So guys, let me tell you first a little bit about myself, and then I will tell you like how I get to know Babaji and how we did all these pursuits together. So I was born in India. My father was retired from Indian Air Force, and I have spent most of my childhood in northeastern part of India. It's very beautiful, very calm, and mainly you find Buddhist monasteries there. You can imagine, like, sometimes my father, he used to take me to his office, obviously, which is a Air Force station. So there you find many Russian aircrafts, loads of Russian books, Russian folk tales, and you find many Ukrainian engineers, Soviet artillery, these sort of stuff. So I was very much interested in knowing Soviet things like ammunitions, engineering, and space launch vehicles and their history. And there I read something about Rasputin, and who was a spiritual guru of Tsarina and Tsar. And I read him, and I used to wonder like what this thing spirituality is that real, or how can we attain it? And I was in just year 7 and year 8 at that time. I could hardly understand what are paranormal things, what is ESP, and what is hypnotism, what is astrology, what is palmistry, what is numerology, these sort of things. So sometimes I get to see some Buddhist monks there, and I could see them. I could sometimes ask a few childish questions to them, because at that time I was a child, and they used to answer me, keeping in mind my little age at that time. So it was a wonderful time. And then I spent my childhood years in almost every part of India, right from north to south and from east to west. And roughly India is kind of 25 times as big as United Kingdom. There are altogether 29 provinces, so it's a massive country, it's a huge country. So I was lucky in the sense that my exposure was very wide. I could meet many people. I had a chance to learn about their culture, their language, their art, and everything basically. Sometimes I spent so many days with the tribal people, and they are cut off from the modern society, modern world, and they have got their own system of healing, their own system of medicines. I got a chance to learn bits and bobs from every culture. I found it very interesting, and still I think that I'm one of the luckiest persons to get this chance to learn and to see and to spend time together with so many cultures. So guys, by education I'm an engineer. So when we say engineer, it's not same as we see here in UK. Here in UK, anybody who has got a screwdriver and tools in his hand, we think that we call him engineer. And there in India, after passing your A-level exam, which is after year 12, you have to take an examination on all India basis, and how massive is the population of India. It's in like millions and millions. And then a few are chosen on the basis of merit list, and then you are selected into one of the provincial engineering colleges or the other engineering colleges, and then you spend like 4 or 5 massive years there, and you study about engineering subjects, take exams every semester, and then after 4 or 5 years, then you have to again take an exam which is on all India level, and then you get some decent job in the government. So I did everything, and then I was selected for Department of Telecommunications, that was with Government of India, and that was back in year 2000, and my job was highly technical. So I was responsible for installation and maintenance of telephone exchanges and broadband exchanges. At that time, India was progressing in that field, so they were expanding these telephone exchanges and broadband exchanges to expand their network. And then in year 2006, I came over here in UK. I found a decent course to study and decent jobs here. I did many jobs here. Mainly, I have worked in technical field. Now, I think you will be interested to know that how I jumped into this field of spirituality and occultism and mysticism. So, guys, when I was in year 9, I met with an astrologer. At that time, I was very much skeptical about astrology and about other occult sciences. So, I was meeting with this guy, and without knowing the subject into detail, I said, well, I don't believe in it. So that guy, he told me only one thing. He said that you don't need to believe in truth, because whether or not you are believing in truth, truth will remain the same. And second thing, he said that in order to criticize, you must have the knowledge of that subject in the first place. If you don't have the knowledge in the first place, then you don't have any right to criticize or to praise anything. So I found that very reasonable, and then I started to study astrology just to criticize it in the beginning. So my family background and my study and everything, that was mainly of science and technology, and none of my family members or none of my ancestors, they were into this field. They were into the field of Ayurveda, but not in astrology. So I thought, okay, I will make a move. I will learn this, and then I got some books. I purchased some of the books, and then I started myself from the beginning. At the same time, I was very much interested in knowing like what is in the psychology, how people they are different from each other, what makes them different from each other, and is there any way we can predict about humans, or what makes them to make certain decisions which are different from each other, why somebody's decisions they are different from somebody else, what is the psyche, these sort of things. So I was studying psychology, and also I was studying astrology as well. At one point, I realized that all the principles those are used in psychology, they are mainly based upon statistical data. So it's like they have performed certain experiment on, let's say, 100 people or 1000 people, and if 60% of them they have answered in yes for something, then they made that particular thing as a principle or as criteria. But the statistical data, it can't be true every time, because this set of people they have chosen, because it depends on the set of people we choose to perform certain experiment. So I was wanting to find out something more concrete, to know about human beings, to know about their behavior. And then I thought, okay, let's go with palmistry. So I thought, okay, let's go with palmistry first. Is there any connection with the psychology of a person and the lines what appear on his or her palm? And then I find, okay, like palmistry, it is revealing many of the things about human beings, but still it is not very much accurate, because it depends how precise a palmist is. So I moved to something else then. Then I moved to numerology. I found that interesting as well, but still it wasn't very much accurate. So I moved to astrology, which I was studying side by side anyways. And then I find it out that we can explain human psychology and many other aspects of human behavior and other things as well. They can be correctly explained on the basis of astrological principles. So mainly astrology has two parts. The system of mathematics is all calculations, like when a person is born, what was the position of the stars, how the sky was appearing at that particular moment of time, at the latitude and longitude where a person was born, which star was in its exalted position, which star was weak, how they will be impacting him on his behavior, on his nature, on his capabilities, on his intellect, these sort of things. You can calculate it if you have got much experience in doing and you know what you are doing. He is having any problems in his life, then we can calculate the position of the stars, the present position of the stars, and also the position of the stars when he was born. And then we can find out certain remedies, and that's how we can resolve some of the problems. So astrology is all about finding out where the problem is. Let's say if somebody is facing some kind of problems, then we can find out where the problem is, which star is creating the problem. And once the problem is diagnosed, then there are several remedies. So sometimes we have to advise you to wear certain gems, that is gemology. Sometimes we perform rituals on your behalf. Sometimes there are certain seva that we may have to advise you, so that you can amplify the results of your good planets. And there are some remedies, we call it dan. So when you perform that, then basically you minimize the negative impact of the stars that is getting upon you. So that's how it works. Now for that I have to read Lal Kitab as well, and what it is called Naqsh-e-Sulaymani. So at that time these books were available only in Urdu, and although I read many other Indian languages, because I have been to many different parts of India, but because the script of Urdu is entirely different, then I learned Urdu. And obviously Sanskrit was one of the languages that was in my course curriculum, so I already had the knowledge of Sanskrit and Hindi. Now in astrology as well, there are many systems. There is Vedic astrology, Parashari, Ashtakvarga system, Buddhist system of healing, and several other different type of astrologies. So I learned everything, and then what I did, I picked up the easiest things or the most useful things from every system. So same I did with the religions. So I studied all the religions, all the major religions, and then I picked up good things. I remember an interesting incident. There is a place in India called Dharamshala, that is in Himachal Pradesh province of India. So it's the same place where His Holiness Dalai Lama, he is staying there. He has got political asylum in India. It's a very big monastery, and there are many Buddhist teachers there. So whenever I had any chance, like if I'm off for, let's say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I used to go there and I used to stay there so that I can have a chance to learn about their system as well. And they deal mainly about what it is called calculating how you were in your past lives, and their system is very logical, very scientific, because Buddhism is the only religion basically which is not religion. It's all based upon the facts, upon the principles. So they have developed this system where you can find out like how you will be in your past lives. And then when I was in UK, I think in year 2014, I did a course from this South American university that was about Kuradismo. So I learned about shamanic systems as well, shamans and shamanic rituals. Basically, I started my journey into this spiritualism from the year 1990, and after the study of 10 years, so from 2000, I was giving the astrological advice and guidance and counseling to my clients. Mainly my clients, they are from South America, from North American countries, Canada, Germany, from UK, and from India as well. From India, they only consult me, although you will find so many astrologers, so many healers in every part of India. Now, what happened was in the year 2018, I was into very much problem from every side. Now, I knew the reason why I'm into this problem, and I knew when they will be resolved. And also I knew, like, in this difficult time period, and also I knew that only a highly spiritual person, he can save me from this difficult phase of time. Now I was thinking, like, what will happen then? Like, is it like I will have to travel back to India? Because here I don't know anybody. It's like people, they know me, they contact me through the telephone basically. They take my advice and my guidance and then they go away. Once they, once the problem is sorted, then they go away. So basically, I don't know anybody here, and I was thinking, like, my horoscope is saying that I'm going to meet somebody like my life-changing life guru, and how will I meet? So I was a little confused actually, and I thought, like, how will I meet someone here? And that was like even more confusing. How I could find somebody in this country who knows me from last 3 births, and even if I find, how will he know that this is the case? So it was that time period, very confusing time. I can remember problems and problem from every direction. And then somebody told me about Baba Ghai in Newcastle. At that time I was living in Manchester, and then I thought, okay, let's go. So I decided, okay, let's go and see him. It was a long journey of like 4 or 5 hours in the bus. Then I reached, and as soon as I saw Babaji, I knew straight away that this is the Guru. What I could see from my horoscope. So definitely it's him, because I could see through my horoscope that the Guru will be of Saturninian type. What it means in general terms, that he will be wearing like black clothes, and the hairstyle that I was thinking how it should be, it was exactly that way. And also I could know that he may have some problems with fingers in one of his hands. So all these things, they were matching with him. At that time there were so many people sitting, it was like 100 or 150 people sitting there all together. I could see that this is the spiritual man who is going to be my guru. At the same time, I was wondering how he will be able to know that there is a strong bond between him and me from last 3 births. So these things, they were going into my mind, and I was watching him talking and addressing the gathering there, and all of a sudden I could see that he picked me up from all these 100 or 150 people, and he was talking to me. I was so much surprised. Like, being an astrologer, I know that we have to do heavy calculations in order to find out certain things, but how could he know that I am the same person? At the same time, I knew that when you are enlightened, when you are into this field of occultism and mysticism, then basically your energies, they rise up from the lowest chakra to the highest one, which is in your head. And when you are at certain level, when your energy is at certain level, you don't need to do any calculations. It's like you can see what is in other person's fate, and what problem he is getting, what will be solutions and stuff like that. So I was very much delighted to see my guru there on that very first day. But also I was feeling this kind of anxiety that I'm here, that I was there for only like 1 hour or 1.5 hours only. I was thinking like, oh my god, I will have to go. How will I be able to see him again? So these thoughts, they were coming into my mind, and I was talking to him, and I can't explain actually in words, because in the language, it has got its own limitations. You can explain certain simpler things, but when it comes to higher stuff, there is this barrier in the language that you can't really explain. But you can imagine, like, the spiritual guru which I have dreamt in my life, which I know how he will be like, which I have seen through my horoscope, and he is right in front of me in this moment of time. Before this as well, I was into this field of mysticism and occultism, paranormal activities. When I was in the monastery in Dharamshala, where the Dalai Lama sits there, so there I helped with this group of researchers. They were basically from Denmark, and the head of that group was a lady, Danish lady. So I helped them with their pursuits, and then when they published their thesis, they put my name on the front page of those thesis. So that was the great experience in that time. But meeting Babaji was the greatest. I visited him many times after that, and we did perform some of the rituals together about paranormal activities. There was one more thing that is very much fascinating I would like to mention. When I was in India, I was studying about all these sacred places, and I was going from one place to another. I was covering like thousands of kilometers in the search of spiritual stuff and spiritual gurus. There is a place that is in the Rajasthan province that is called Gogamedi, and even in India, very, very few people, they know about that place. You can say like not more than 7 or 10 people out of 1000. So when I was speaking to Babaji here in Newcastle, not only he knew about that place, but he knew what sort of work was done by Guru Gorakhnath Ji and Guru Matsyendra Nath and other followers of the Nath Sampradaya. That was very much fascinating, because Guru Gorakhnath, Guru Matsyendra Nath, and all these Shav Nath spirituals, they have done tremendous job in this field of paranormal world, and they have contributed to certain mantras which are called Shabar mantras or Shabari mantras, and there are so many healings that you can provide through those mantras. And as I said, in India there is the system of medicines that is called Ayurveda, because once you find out where the problem is through the astrology, and if that problem is related with somebody's health, then you will have to resolve that through the system of health, through the system of medicines, which is called Ayurveda. You will find almost all of the Ayurvedic practitioners in the olden time, they all used to be astrologers as well, because in the olden times there wasn't any MRI machine or stethoscope or these ECG, EEGs. So they used to make your horoscope and find it out where the problem could be, which part in your body is suffering, and how that can be resolved. And they used to prepare what it is called bhasma and the other medicines. So I learned that system as well, and when I came to see Babaji, I was so much astonished to find out that he is very clever in making medicines as well. So some of the medicines, like some of the oils, there are some of the medicines that he has made, and I got the chance to see and discuss about them. I can remember he has made certain oils for pain relief, like in rheumatism and in your joint pains. You can apply that oil and it is really effective. And also he has made certain medicines that may be helpful in potency. Sometimes you may have some problems regarding that. So basically it was a spectacular experience to know these things, and to know more and more about the world of spirituality. And because I had a base, so I could understand these things into greater depth. So guys, I think the video is going too longer, so I will have to put an end to this discussion. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much.